well, you can actually see what it is that we're going to make in this video in the corner. I'm going to put something over that because I feel like that's a big spoiler. I have decided that I wanted to make iconic horror movie outfits, costumes, all that good stuff. And one of the iconic movies that you always see in like movies that changed my life or horror movies that you must watch always comes up with the 2015 Witch. But I haven't watched it as of me recording this because it's not on any streaming platform. As soon as I'm able to watch it, I always look it up like every week and see if it's on anything, and I've just not been able to watch it. So as soon as I am, I will watch it. I love Anya Taylor-Joy. I love horror movies. I love historical outfits. I feel like what could go wrong with me making this? You should like this video if you enjoy horror and sewing and creative stuff, so that I know that you do. And you should subscribe if you enjoy horror or creating outfits, creating costumes, because as you can see, I make a whole bunch of making and horror, so you should subscribe. Also, I'm determined to get to 1,000 subscribers at some point in my life, so you should do that. Make my day. Yeah? Cool. Let's get to the video, shall we? There's a self-promotion thing. So her dress has a white undershirt, grey corset, grey skirt, brown apron, white head doodad. So, white shirt, grey corset and skirt. It looks like it's just a generic skirt. What I think I might do is make a circle skirt and then the excess make a corset. Would that work? Am I delusional? I think I need to make a circle skirt. I think I need to cut the elastic away first. So I am gonna do that. So I started off by getting rid of the elastic that was round the outside so that I could actually lie it flat, because the elastic was pulling it in ways that weren't good. I then cut it into a square shape or rectangular shape. Oh, I just hit something because I'm talking with my hands whilst doing this voiceover. I folded it so that it was a square, cut it, any excess material off. I need to stop talking with my hands because I keep hitting things. I then pinned it in one side, pinned it on the other side, and I think I sewed it on my machine, but I can't remember if I do that now or in a little bit. It's a new day, I'm wearing the same clothes. Ignore it, they're clean, I promise. Today, I need to sew a skirt. I'm going to attempt to start building the bodice. I've got some material that I'm going to make the bodice out of. I think I can then start making a shirt. I reckon I can get that all done today. So turns out I ended up sewing it now. I only pinned it apparently that day. I don't know why I stopped making it. I didn't do much with it. I just made a square into a slightly smaller square, but that doesn't matter. I ended up sewing it on the machine two sides. For some reason I then decided to hand sew literally everything else about this outfit. I don't quite know why, but I feel like I need to stick with it at a certain point. So I hand sewed a hem, and I got the top bit that I knew was going to go around my waist, and I folded it over big enough so that I could then put, I think I had a spare shoelace lying around, so I then put the shoelace into the loop so that I could then put it on and off around my waist and tie it tight enough so that it would actually fit me. I need to make a corset shirt thing out of this. Now, logically, I should know what I'm doing. Do I know what I'm doing, though? No clue. So you just having fun there, headbutting my sewing box? I need to make a shirt. I know how to make shirt. I make shirt. So I made this one for my birthday. You should go check that out. So I'm just gonna copy this because I know that this one fits me. So I would recommend tracing the corset style shirt that you made for your birthday, and if you didn't make a corset style shirt for your birthday, go watch this video because this is the corset style shirt that I made for my birthday, and then come back to here because then it will show you how to do that. I then traced around it and had 4 pieces and sewed them together where necessary. So originally the audio for this part was me explaining the fact that I wanted it to be done up as like a corset style. However, I then looked at a reference picture and realised that I was mixing 2 of her outfits. And so there was the one that had the corset style front, the little bows on the sleeves, however it was a single strap, whereas the one that I've created with the longer sleeves is actually the buttoned one, so I went with the buttons later on down the line, but I thought I would explain that here. I trimmed all the bits that I deemed necessary for it to look more accurate to the... Why do I keep talking with that hand? Okay, hand, stay down because I keep whacking the small lantern above me. Okay, so I proceeded to trim off all of the excess material that I deemed necessary to make it look more accurate to the one in the movie. I then proceeded to hand sew the hem all around the armholes and also all around the front and bottom part of the shirt corset thing. So I made her. I have this duvet cover, I think it used to be. Pretty sure it used to be a duvet cover, but I used the black for trousers, I think. Either trousers or a skirt. I think this will make a pretty good shirt. I got the white bedding, I think it's bedding that I used for this. I think it's a duvet cover that I used, or half of, because I used the black piece because it was like a black and white duvet, and I used the black one to make a skirt and I think a pair of trousers. So I ended up using the white part of the black and white bedsheet. That's not relevant, but pretend it is. I ended up using that, and I traced around my Hello Kitty pyjama top because I think this has the best fitting on my body that's the most accurate to a shirt of that time period. So I did that, traced around it, sewed all the bits together, deemed where necessary. I then did the same with the arms. I traced around the arm part because I did the torso part and the arm part separately, and I then proceeded to sew the arm up. Or did I? Wait, no. I may have attached the arm first and then sewed it up, but I might have sewed the arm up so that it was a sleeve and then put the sleeve into the torso part of the shirt. Either way, a shirt was made. I then cut the neck hole so that it was more neckish, again, accurate to how she has hers. Yes, I am aware that Elsa looks like Christmas. The 5th of January, me recording this, I've not dressed her back into her usual attire. So I need to hem it so that it looks nice. I have some shoelaces. I found a pack of shoelaces for £1 in Poundland. I need new shoelaces anyway because I've got some shoes that need shoelaces, and they have a white one, so I'm going to use the white one to do the little tie bit. If not, they have like a leathery kind of looking one that's brown that I might do. I'm going to try this on myself and see how much it laps over. If it laps over enough for me to add the buttons, I will, because that is the most accurate to this. If it doesn't, I'm debating whether or not to get rid of the sleeves, but I don't think I will. I will just do a corset style in the front because I feel like for the essence of what this outfit is, it being corseted in the front is fine. It's annoying, but it's fine. So I think I'm going to do that and see where it comes on me to see what to do. So I found this at a charity shop, which is a very nice coat. However, I made the mistake of putting it on, because now I feel like Castiel. So it's probably a very weird cut then. I know there will be, because I'm going to make it a weird cut. Because we're putting the decorations away, I made Santa. I made him look like this. That's irrelevant for this video though, but I'm I'm very happy. I was rambling way too much in this whole video, so for the sake of both of us, you're putting up a voice over me. He was less likely to ramble. Basically, I decided that this coat was too nice to cut up, plus it was slightly too light of the shade of brown for her dress, her apron, sorry. So I went on Vinted and I found a skirt that closer matched the colour that her skirt was. And I've bought it, and I'm currently, as of me doing the voiceover for this, waiting for it to turn up in the post, and I will then make the apron out of that when it arrives. I got the shirt, I got the white shoelaces, and I cut the shoelaces. I need a sneeze. It will happen. Bless me. I'm so sorry, that might have been horrific for you. I got the shoelaces. I cut them into smallish kind of things, and I tied knots in them because they were fraying like crazy, and I thought if I burnt the ends, which is what I normally do when fabric frays on me, I thought it would ruin the aesthetic, so I just tied knots in them. I sewed the hem of the collar before sewing on the shoelaces ties onto the shirt. I then got the overshirt corset thing, and I sewed so many buttons and buttonholes that 17 buttons are on this piece, and I can feel my sanity slowly slipping away. It took me about 4 hours just for the buttons. But I'm fine. It's fine. It looks good. I tried it on. It looks good. I'm happy with it. But it was a long time. The skirt has come. I've thrown it somewhere. Literally came about 5 minutes ago. So you can see that there is 2 ties. And ideally, what I would like is to be able to cut directly where that is, and then I can tie it. However, the apron is really big. Her apron isn't that big. So I am going to mutilate this skirt. So the way that I cut this skirt made sense in the way that it had been made, because the panels in the centre were symmetrical, whereas if I cut it down the middle, then it would be uneven. I then cut all the labels off. I cut the bit of the wraparound part off, and I reattached it, and I think that's all I did really. And that means it's montage time.